We're going to use the 24-quart machine, so it's going to call for 10 quarts of the dairy-free mix. This comes two ways. This is Meadowvale. This is Meadowvale, a company out of Illinois that ships to 40 states in the United States. It's shipped to you frozen, and it's a fantastic dairy-free product. It's a coconut blend, and extremely good. I also use a product that she calls Mami'sGelato.com, but it's spelled MAMIS, which is the Italian spelling. So it's MAMISGelato.com. That's it there. And that's a powder, and that comes either coconut or the oat, either way. You just mix it with water and put your flavor in, and you're good to go. One little trick with the Mami's, at least on the oat, is I add about 10% more of the powder, or take about 10% of the water out. I want a little more intense flavor, so I adjust it, but that'll be up to you. So this whole thing's going in, and like Jeff said, you grab it by the neck and take the lid off. So if you're right-handed, you do this with your left hand, because I just tried to do it the other way, and I found it wasn't even working.
So this is a 10-quart bladder that we can put inside of a 24-quart. Now, it's capable of 24 quarts, but it's 10 quarts, so if you double it, it makes 20 quarts. Traditionally, people do not open up another bladder just to pour 2 more quarts in there so you can make the full yield of the 24. They just stick with the 10 quarts and go about their day. I am a huge fan of Meadowvale's Dairy Mix because it does come in a bladder. It is very smooth, it is very creamy, but it's not shelf-stable like a Mami's Gelato. Mami's Gelato does have 4 different flavors, actually, and they're really great because they can ship anywhere just about. It's shelf-stable for like a year, I believe is what it is. It's very cost-effective, and it can cater just to about anybody. Now, the Meadowvale's mix is a coconut background. So anything that you make with this, it has to complement that coconut. This is why we picked peaches and raspberry. It complements coconut very well. Mami's Gelato has one called Almond Ice and a Outrageous, which is the one that's being passed around. The Outrageous is oat-based, which means there's going to be no background taste. You can make anything you want with it, Oreos, a strawberry ice cream, whichever, and it will be just tasted like that. So that's when that one definitely comes in handy. Meadowvale's doesn't have any of that. It's all coconut.
So these are raspberries that we picked up at the supermarket. I love using frozen fruit because it was picked at the height of freshness and then instantly frozen. There is no syrups or anything in here. And I'm using the store brand. Our store here is called Publix, as opposed to using Dole Pineapple, and other companies do the same thing where they put the fruit in that. But Dole Pineapple is going to be, if you're serving raspberries as a dessert and putting it in that champagne glass from this morning. They are prettier looking, but it's still excellent. It's very excellent fruit, but you're paying for the appearance. Whereas this is perfectly fresh frozen raspberries, but they're not maybe going to look as nice. And since it's going into the ice cream and they're going to get ground up, it doesn't matter how they look. But when you go down the ice cream aisle of your supermarket, at the top of the aisle will be frozen raspberries, blueberries, mango, cherries, everything you could ever want. And it's so much better than the way we used to do it when we bought it in what was called a number 10 tin can. It's about that big. It looked like a big soup can. And it had strawberries in it, red dye 40, enough chemicals to pickle you for the rest of your life, and corn syrup. And that's what we called strawberry ice cream.
Yeah.
It would be comparable to roadkill versus a filet mignon.
And it's
Both are great. But
it's kind of hard to see, but when I love frozen fruit too over fresh, because when it does thaw, like I said, it's kind of hard. It creates its own natural syrup in the bottom of the bag. Use that. Use it for anything you make in your ice creams, your Italian ices, your sorbets, whichever. It's really, really, really good.
Hey, Mike, am I correct that this would be called IQF? instant, quick frozen.
More than likely, there's a few varieties.
Okay, thank you. So you hear that term IQF, that's what they're talking about.
And you can use any peaches. I prefer this one because I'm partial to it. My great-grandfather used to make a peach cobbler. Lazy Man peach cobbler is what he called it, with cans of biscuits. And these peaches, exactly. So you can use can if you want. I like to buy it in the 100% juice, not the syrup. Syrup is very heavy. It's kind of more artificial. If it's in 100% juice, and it just helps you with your more all-natural. And you can pour that in there too. Don't need to drain the peaches. Peaches are very soft, so they're going to break down very nicely in the machine. There'll probably be some good little chunks, but for the most part, they'll break down very nicely. There are some fruits that do have a hard time, like mangoes and cantaloupe. They don't break down very well because they're very hard.
Didn't you want to
Yeah,
have
Miss
an
Bianca,
assistant?
you want to help? Come on.
We picked the person who has traveled the farthest,
She is
About-
all the way from Qatar.
about 14 hours.
So you're just going to take the peaches and just dump it right in the machine.
Great. Okay, so if I do it well, I hold it up high.
It, yes,
so
right.
Then
Let me see if you have a spatula, if you need one.
You can try banging it.
yeah.
Here you go.
There they go.
There you go.
My kids were raised on Sesame Street. One customer
And you can
called
use a
up,
spatula
and he
to-
said,
oh, it
I
did
have
go
a
down. Look at that.
5-year-old and
You're
a
good then.
3-year-old, and I set them in front of the TV and have them watch your videos all day when I'm working
One more.
from home. And he said he walked past them one day, and the 5-year-old saying to the 3-year-old, "Now don't try this with any other machine." About trying to put whole fruit in it, and I thought, wow, I have really arrived.
And then just
I'm
turn
being
that on?
compared to Sesame Street.
that's-
I thought that was
that's
pretty
it.
good. Okay, now we start the timer.
And that's it. We wait
that's
until
it.
it's done.
Fantastic.
That's it.
Thank you.
It's fun, huh?
It is very fun. I have to
Graham crackers.
Huh? No, that was Jeff. He was going to put that in his Banana Fosters.
Okay.
Any questions?
So now there's a timer that's gonna start to work, or
Yes, it's up to 24 seconds right
As
now.
soon as you hit this refrigeration button, then the timer starts. Because it's kind of silly to have it start when you got the dasher on, because you could be doing what we're doing. And as I like to say, Jeff likes to make love to the machine for a good 10 minutes before he starts it.
And we learn as we go along because we used to do it silly. You would
Yeah.
turn on this, and the timer would start. Wait a minute, I'm already at 6 minutes, and I haven't even started
Yeah.
freezing yet. But
so now we know everything mostly about the 350. Can we know the price of 12 quart or 20?
Not on camera, because 10 years from now they're going to call up and say, hey, you said the price of the machine was this. So off camera we can.
we also do something that nobody else does. We sell direct. Two things. We sell direct, not through dealers. That saves you a 33% markup of the dealer. And we show our direct-to-you prices right at our website, emerythompson.com.
Yes.
Christy started up a new feature. You tell about it. It's about how you can get a quote.
Oh, yes. You could just get a quote online instantly. It comes from yours truly, so it's not going to be like an instant as soon as you fill out the info. It's just a quick, name, address, or not address, your zip code, what machine you're looking for, and then give me the next day if it's over the weekend, obviously, and to come until Monday. And of course you can always just send me an email direct, or even Steve if you don't want to go on there and do that, but it's super easy. You can do it at 2 o'clock in the morning, but I'm not going to respond to you though. If I'm awake, I have done that before actually.
If you like fast, quick, short answers, contact Christy. If you want a good story elaborated out 5 or 6 hours, call me.
That's very true. I could do 4, oops, I just hit my mic. I could do 4 calls to his one. And he's venturing all over with his headset. It's quite fun to watch. And then you got to go work around him in the kitchen.
So does this screen give us any temperature of the machine or of the batch or of the
No.
ice? No.
That's not really necessary. You're making ice cream. It's not science. A lot of other people will say, oh, the molecules, and you need to know the temperature. It has to discharge and come out at this precise. As Steve likes to say, I think it's getting into the weeds. You're making ice cream. Nobody's going to come back because your air content was fantastic. Nobody's going to come back because the discharge temp was perfect when it came out. They're coming back because you had great vanilla. They came back because you had great Superman.
Yes.
Yeah, so the Meadow Valve pouch, is that a 2.5 gallon?
Yes, it is.
So
Yes.
what's the price look like from when you were looking at that versus the Mommy's Gelato? Because I think I saw on mine like Mammy's Gelato was like $50 some a pack versus what's something like this look
Well,
like?
I don't.
Sorry.
I don't get into the exact prices because
Rough.
everything changes.
Yeah.
So Meadowvale does have distributors. So it's not going to be the same price to us as it's going to be to the people that's in Oregon or in, Wisconsin. That's going to be different. And, the cost and the factors of how much it takes to get there. Eddie's contact is on that number or is on your paper for this formula. He knows me very well. I consider him one of my BFFs. So if you want to tell him Christy from Emery Thompson sent you, he'll know, hands down, he'll know exactly who I am. And he'll do just about what he can to help. He's a really, really, really great guy. And Mommy's Gelato's info is also in your packet. Fenora and Amy are beautiful people. You can also name drop, as well. They know us very, very well. So definitely reach out to them if you're looking for the dairy-free. I'm a person that doesn't like to turn away a customer for any reasons whatsoever, and I would hate for anybody to walk out of my store or my business because I didn't have something that catered to them. I'm not saying turn half of your flavors into dairy-free, but have something, that's one or two flavors. And even peanuts. Peanuts is a huge allergy, very, very common. Even nuts in general. We have a lady that works here who has an allergy to pistachios, and my daughter has an allergy to walnuts. So if it was my store, once again, not saying you have to, I would keep your nuts separate, and I've even seen people have them pre-packaged in individual packages, so it's not cross-contaminating with anything in your store. So if somebody asks, do you have nuts? Sure do, and you can hand them a little, 1 ounce package of some nuts to put on top their self. So just always be mindful of those things too when you're making ice cream. And like we talked about, peanut butter, anything with nuts in your machine, save it for the last and strip that machine down and clean it out. Last thing you want, is to send somebody home. And we were actually at Busch Gardens a month ago, and my daughter has the walnut allergy. Well, she ordered some dessert from somewhere, and immediately her mouth started swelling up. So I went to the cashier and I said, is there walnuts in this product? And she goes, no, but it's in this. And okay, that's what happened. It cross-contaminated. So that's what happened. So just be mindful of those things. Any other questions? No? We're at 6 minutes. We still got a couple more minutes. So the Meadowvale's Dairy Free is a tapioca based. So you can kind of see it looks a little bit thicker and chunkier than the normal dairy. Tapioca naturally thickens up on its own. So whenever you do thaw this dairy free mix, you'll have to use it within a day or two because it'll start to thicken up. It'll still run in the machine, but it's like you're pouring, cottage cheese, like chut, 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 chut. It's a great, great, great formula. So is Mommy's. They actually just came out with another one, a matcha base. I haven't tried it yet. It's on my to-do list, so I'm excited for that one.
Jeff is heading off to that place where ice cream professionals go, wherever that is. No. So, how about a round of applause for Jeff? All right, Jeff. Ready?
Maybe it's a buck and a half or something.
Here's your handy dandy spatula. So we're going to turn off your refrigeration.
And then we're going to have you turn to the side over that way so that people can see.
So turn that off.
Turn that off and then wait till the compressor goes off.
Now you're going to grab that and you're going to slowly pull it up. When you do, it's going to start coming out and you can adjust it to the speed.
Okay, here we go. We're letting it out.
There
Keep going.
You go.
A little more.
Use your spatula. There you go. Close it. Very good. Here's the next container. I'll swap you. All right, Steve will take over from
You can
there.
raise it all the way. It's going to come out. And the trick is to shut it off before it gets to the top. Now. Look at that. You're a pro. You did that better than I do. Wow. Okay. A little bit more. Bye, Jeff. Okay. A little bit over the edge here. Catch that. Good. And looks like we need one more. Okay. Take that for you. And the last one.
Look at how much ice cream came out from a
Yeah.
whole bladder. Oops.
When I first did dairy free, because I'm a type 1 diabetic, not supposed to have sugar, I made this product, and the first time I made it, I enjoyed it so much. It was one morning that I had 3 portions of it. So by the time lunch came around, I wasn't full. The next thing we know, because it had no effect on me and I hadn't eaten anything, I'm flat on the ground in my office, and my staff tells me that I was waving my arm saying proof of concept because I was out cold from a low blood sugar because it hadn't raised it. So it's a fantastic product. Okay, now you're going to hit stop. Good. Nice job. Very good. Yeah. There we go.
Thank you. I'm good. You can stick it in there. Whoop, just going in that one. Thanks. So when you eat this, you're going to notice that it has a coconut background to it. You're not eating predominantly coconut, but you can tell that it's there. So when you do work with dairy-free, you have to make sure that it'll complement it.